Tell them, McCluskey. Tell them what time it is.
And welcome back to the Reserve Orange Peelers Sports Podcast. My name is Joshua Freeman, and we're back for another full-length episode of the podcast. With me today, as always, my number one man in my life, Mr. Kyle Weeks. How are you?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Nice mug as well, by the way. That's an absolute beauty.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of I got to tell you off screen too, but I've had a few inquiries about merch too. So,
have we? Okay.
We should actually release a line.
It might be something we have to delve into.
Yeah. Well, there'll be some competitions and stuff coming out soon for all the listeners to win some stuff like this, which we'll talk about later in the show or maybe in the coming weeks. But they're a
Keep
new
your
edition.
eyes open for it.
They're a new edition, and they're nice. I enjoyed a cup of water out of this.
Yeah, good mug review. Good for your coffee, good for your water. Stay hydrated, everyone.
Perfect. All right. So, do you have a fact for us? Get us educated, get us started.
I do, and I've gone down the self-care routes. Last week, I gave us a nice way to make a candle out of an orange. This week, I found out that you
Did
can
you give that a go?
No, not yet. I haven't got my hands on a candle to actually melt into the peel. So once I get my hands on one, I'll make it. But this week I found out that you can make your own orange peel face mask for anyone that enjoys a little bit of a face mask to rejuvenate the skin. Yeah. So what you do is you dry out your orange peel, similar to with the candles, and then you grind it up into a powder, mix it with a bit of water or even some milk. It says you can use milk as well. Make a nice paste out of it, and then you put that on your face and let it sit for a bit, and away you go. Feel fresh as a daisy or fresh as an orange.
Feel good as new, huh? I might have to actually try that. I've been feeling down a little bit lately. I might need an orange.
Yeah, just to rejuvenate a little bit. It's worth a try.
Yeah, we should do that. We should do self-care home tips. Have a candle, put on the candle, and do a face mask.
Yeah, I rate that.
Some oranges. The three-step guide to pure happiness.
We'll give it a whirl.
All right. Thanks for educating us there, Kyle. But as always, we're going back to sport, the thing that we love, and we're here to talk about the wrap. What's been happening? I've got a few things to talk about, but I'm going to let you lead off. What has caught your eye? What has made you mad? What has made you passionate about sport this week?
Well, one of the big things for me this week's been the start of the Paralympics. I've been watching a bit of that throughout the week. That's been unreal. Have you been watching it?
Oh yeah, you took my topic. I haven't been as dedicated to it, but I've been trying to experience every sport. Watch a little bit of every sport as I can. And yeah, absolutely unreal. I've kind of not watched it as much because I get really, really into it and just feel like I not waste hours, but I could sit there and watch it for 5 hours.
Yeah, you find out you're there for the whole day.
Yeah, so I gotta have it little bits at a time, moderation.
You're an addict. It's an addiction.
I'm a sport addict. It's a problem. But yeah, absolutely unreal. Just the stories that come out of it are really awesome. And Australia is absolutely dominating. We're actually doing heaps well.
Yeah, we picked up, I think, like 4 gold in the pool the other night.
Yeah, we just
which is massive.
I just keep seeing pop-ups of medal.
Yeah, they're doing really well.
Yeah, the system is definitely working in Australia's favour, and I feel like we do put a lot of support into our Paralympians, and I hope they feel the same. But
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it just seems the whole country's behind them. But what kind of sport's been taking your fancy?
Well, yeah, there's been the beauty of the Paralympics is because it is like a modified sport for people with varying disabilities. You get to see some sports that you don't normally see. The ones that I've really been enjoying is the wheelchair rugby. That's always a great watch. Very, very physical. Lots of aggression. Very high skill set. And goalball. Have you ever seen goalball?
My girlfriend
that's crazy.
That's the one we've been watching. Every time it's on, we just sit there, and for whatever reason, we've been enthralled into it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The Aussie Bells, which is the women's team, won their first ever game in the Paralympics yesterday, beating Canada 4-3. So, and they were crying. They were over the moon because they were getting smashed in their other games. But yeah, absolutely unreal. Because I guess you could say it's kind of intuition, like it's skill as well, but it's a lot of risk taking and a lot of just putting your body on the line and not knowing where it's going to go. But they just make unreal saves with actually not knowing where it is.
They make it look so easy. Like the fact that all of the people competing in it are like fully blind or partially blind. They all have to wear their face like goggles and masks so that they can't see anything. And then the ball itself has got like a little bell in there. So all they can do is hear the ball moving across the court, and they're like launching themselves at it and taking like if that was done in like a regular football game or something, you'd say that it like a just unreal save but the way they just always seem to know where it is and throw their body in the way, and there's no regard for their safety or well-being. It's unreal.
Yeah, it's a great skill. It's kind of a skill that is kind of not new in sports, but it's very unique. Like it's a very unique sport that like harness skills that you might not use in any traditional sport, and that's what I think makes it interesting and entertaining in a sense. I really enjoy it. I reckon that ball has got to be heavy because it seems like it's hard to like sling around. But I love the technique of like the kind of, it looks a bit like an anime technique doing like a roundhouse kick as you
because they have to bounce it in like the various zones. They've got all the zones marked up on the court, and you have to bounce it in your own zone first before it can cross the.
But you got to get that momentum. So they like
so they do like the big twist and spin and just launch it across the court. But just the fact that they can't even see the ball at all and still manage to keep scores to things like 4-3, considering how big the court is as well. And there's only 3 people on each side. There's a fair bit of space to cover. Yeah,
there was a 4-3 game the other day with 89 shots each.
Yeah,
see, that's unreal.
That's unreal. And it's not like these shots are just going everywhere. They're pretty much all on target.
Yeah. I kind of want to see, I haven't seen yet, but there is a penalty sometimes.
I've seen a few of these,
but I haven't seen one saved yet. I kind of want to see.
I saw one in the opening game. It was Brazil against Lithuania, I think it was. There was a couple of penalties in the men's, and one of them did get saved. It was ridiculous how this bloke actually got to the ball.
Yeah, I was watching the Japanese team play, and when they were taking the penalty, another guy who was on that same team like faked and like ran up, and like you can like run up and like fake your footsteps, and then the guy shot on the other side, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's pretty clever actually.
It's just. I love how it just gives so many people from different walks of life a chance to play a sport, like the Paralympics in general. Like where goalball like is great because it's like specific to Paralympics. I kind of like that they have specific sports that they've kind of invented.
That's only for parasport.
Yeah. Like it's awesome to see people running and swimming, but it's cool that they've actually adapted specific games for the Paralympics as well. Like wheelchair rugby. It's pretty back and forth, pretty intense. One that I was watching to keep an eye out as well is the running with the vision impaired, how they run with a guide. We had Jared Clifford got a silver medal in that as well, and there's actually an interesting story about him. He accidentally qualified for the marathon for the Paralympic Games. Because he was training and he was doing a really good time going for, I don't know, like a 30K run or something like that. And his trainer said, "You're on for a great time. How are you feeling?" He said, "Good." So he kept going.
Yeah.
He kept running. He's like, "Let's do a marathon." And his actually time that he did in training was better than his able-bodied counterparts in the Olympics.
Really?
Like some of their qualifying times.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so he he's like, yeah, let's qualify for the marathon. So he was just training for the 5,000 and 10,000, but accidentally qualified for the marathon, and that's he didn't even know it.
He just kept running. And ended up qualifying for the marathon at the Paralympics. Yeah. That's unreal. They're the kind of stories that you love to see with stuff like Paralympics, though. That's why it's so cool.
And he finished second in the 5,000 meters. So, and he finished 7th last Paralympic game. So it was cool.
So massive improvement.
Yeah, and hopefully we see what's his name? The wheelchair tennis.
Dylan Alcott.
Dylan Alcott, yeah. I reckon he's been dominant in his field, so it'll be great to see him take home another gold medal.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, do you see the Egyptian table tennis player as well? Playing with
the one with no arms.
Yeah, he's playing with it in his mouth. Really, like that's unreal. Like that is unreal. It is hard anyway.
The fact that he can actually even get to the Paralympics and be competitive without having arms playing table tennis is freakish.
Yeah, and we'll
ridiculous.
We'll also do a full special on the Paralympics, like we did the Olympics as well, because there's just so much to expose in a good way that we want to get out of the Paralympics. So we'll delve deep more into that. But this is some, if you have the chance, tune in, watch, because it's really fulfilling watching these sports. And even if you're not into sports, like the stories are just amazing and emotional, and it just adds a whole new level to sporting competition.
Yeah, there's just so much upside to it. It's a great watch.
Yeah, if we're done with the Paralympics, move on to a bit of EPL.
Yeah, I think you've got a bit of a bone to pick, haven't you?
Yeah, mate. My team.
The floor is yours.
Look, I'm a loyal supporter of Arsenal, the Gunners, for almost, I'd say, 11, 12 years. Yeah, a little bit more. No, more, maybe 14 years. And I've never felt low like this before. This season is an atrocity. We are getting smashed, and I don't care about losing. I really don't care. But we lost to Man City 5-0, and we were embarrassed. And that's what I care about. We are at the dead bottom, and honestly, we
haven't scored a goal yet.
We are in trouble of being down there. I don't think. I can't even think of being relegated, because you never hear that. Arsenal is, I think, the only team in the whole Premier League structure, or maybe one of two teams that's never been relegated.
Yeah,
in the whole history of English football.
Yeah.
So you never hear them in the same sentence. But honestly, we're playing like a team who's already defeated for the whole season. We need to shape up and fucking play some football. Either we get rid of the pretenders in that team and just put the most hardworking players in there to actually give it a go, or we actually just start playing good football, because we're not playing as a team. We're not wanting it. And the fans are getting frustrated, but I think we're not helping either. I think we need to back our team, and we need to get behind them in this time of need. But we're just criticizing them because we're so used to having the luxury of just being a top 4 team naturally.
People used to make fun of Arsenal for always finishing 4th.
Yeah, that would be a dream. That would be a dream now.
Yeah, that'd be a dream at the moment. People used to always constantly poke fun at Arsene Wenger for only being able to get them into 4th place and play Champions League every year and not be able to win the title. But geez, what you'd do to have that back at the moment.
If we make top 8, that would be unreal from Arteta. Like that is way beyond my expectations for this year. But I'm not going to use the podcast for a spot to complain. It's just dark days for Arsenal. And
it's just Do you think they almost need to adopt that relegation battler type mentality?
Yes, of course.
Or do you think that they are still a good enough side that their class will eventually come through?
No, we don't need to accept any fact of relegation or that we're going to be in the battle of that. What we need to accept is that we're not going to play better football than a lot of teams this year. We just accept that. Our quality is not there to
Yeah.
run teams across the park, move it around, hold possession for 80% of the time. We need to beat teams on whether we want it more than them and the passion that we put into the
It's
club.
got to be on desire.
We need that. And that's what I'm really liking, teams like that. Like, I think Everton are a team like that. And I think Crystal Palace and Leicester have always been a team like that. That's the mentality we need to take on and stop just thinking, oh, we play for a top 4 club. We play for Arsenal. Like, it's not that anymore right now.
They're not a top 4 club anymore.
It's not a big major club in England right now compared to our results. It's just not.
Yeah.
So we need to stop acting like that and take the luxuries like that for granted. And I think some players in the team are not taking that for granted. And I think some of the signings have been good, but a lot of them still are. And number one is Xhaka. He needs to go. I was about to swear really badly there, but he needs to.
Yeah.
He needs to go. Just take a break. Take a break.
Yeah.
He is honestly very, very disappointing every time I've seen him play, especially defensively. I mean, for one thing, that was never a red card. That is absolutely. I'm a very aggressive player. That is not a red card.
Yeah.
He didn't even touch him. The intent there, sure. Give him a yellow for it because he won't do it again. But he did not even touch the player. That is rubbish. That is a part of football that you need to realize is a contact sport. It is a contact sport, and you can do things like that. It doesn't. I don't think technique matters. What are you going to say? Oh, if that happened, the intent, that's bullcrap. He didn't touch him. Focus on what actually happened.
Yeah, because what they said is that because he jumped in with 2 feet and studs showing, even though he didn't get the player, there was still intent there to cause harm of some sort.
What if he did that off the
reckless?
Ball? What if
he did it off the ball?
What if he just did that and completely missed even the ball? He's still doing that. Does he get red for that?
That's basically what happened. So that's what they said.
But he got the ball. But what if he just completely missed the ball and the player?
Well, he didn't really get much of the ball.
He did. He did. The ball went in his direction that he was going.
Yeah. Look, I don't disagree with you, but I also don't disagree with how the ref interpreted either.
That's weird.
To be fair.
Yeah.
Like
I
personally,
when
I saw Reece James for his handball, get it. Yeah, what a grub, hey. the only thing that irked that for me with the Reece James getting a red card in the Chelsea versus Liverpool draw this morning is that the referee goes to the VAR, initially says play on, then goes to the VAR for the check, looks at the screen, a still shot for 2 seconds, and then goes, penalty. Didn't even watch a replay of it.
Yeah, but it was a penalty.
It was, 100% I agree it was a penalty, but it was more the rashness of the ref's decision but it's not the penalty, it's the red card. Because it's come off his thigh into his arm, which is pretty well by his side. Just the fact that the referee looked at the fact that the referee looks at one still shot and then walks straight back on and says, off you go, red card, is probably a little bit rash for my liking. I don't disagree with it, but I think he probably needed to have a bit more of a look at it because it did come off his leg first and then into his arm, which wasn't in
an unnatural position.
His arm was by his side.
It was not. There
was about 6 inches between his torso and his arm.
It was up here.
It was not out there.
It was like here. It was like this.
It was not out there. No, you're gonna watch this screen. Oh, you can't. He won't let me screen share it. You grub. That's all right. I'll send you the video of it, and you can have another look at it and reassess. But anyway, I've had enough. I've had enough of that. We've got the draw. That's what matters.
Yeah, we'll put up a poll. We should put up a poll. Was there a red card or not?
Yeah, red card or not.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's carry on. Let's wrap up. We've babbled on,
I think, enough from the wrap. It's just high emotions here on a Sunday morning. Which is what we want. We want raw.
Yeah, we want to get
takes on, but we don't want to waste your time. So let's move on to the Wheel of Wonder. So Kyle, just talk to them a little bit for a second. I'm just going to get the wheel.
Oh, okay. So you've left the wheel somewhere Where's he go? Oh, he's going into his cupboard of wonders and mysteries. Gosh, he looks lost. He doesn't know where the wheel is. Honestly, I don't even know why I work with this bloke sometimes. His level of organization just does my head in. But we'll get there in the end. If not, I might just make up a question and we'll go from there. Oh, there it is. He's found it. You found it, my friend.
Unreal preparation from the orange peel.
You found. I just gave you a fair spray too, so you'll
Did you?
enjoy that listening back.
You grub.
All right, let's spin this wheel.
Spin that wheel.
Looks as good as ever.
Oh,
what's that? Number one.
Number one, the star.
Ooh, all right.
The first question you ever made.
The first, well, not necessarily, just the first question I put in the box.
Go with it, you grub.
Yeah, okay, sorry. I guess I forgot this is show business.
Oh, it's a bloody long one too.
Beauty.
Unwritten rules. Should unwritten rules in sport be able to be enforced by referees during a match? For example, in football, if a player is down injured, the ball is kicked out of play so they can receive medical treatment.
Yeah, so like you get what that means, like the sportsmanship conduct, they're not written in the rule book, but everyone kind of just abides by them anyway. It's like a sportsmanship agreement between players. Do you think that referees should they become rules that referees can apply?
Hard. This is hard because I'm just going to be like tunnel focused on the example that you gave for a second, and then we can elaborate more on some other unwritten rules. But in playing football, it is, I think, that continuing playing when someone is injured, it's hard to say because
let's just imagine that because the referees at the moment only really have jurisdiction to stop the play if it's an obvious head injury.
Yeah.
So let's just say some guy's gone down. It's obviously not his head. He's like clutching at his knee or his ankle and he's rolling around, grabbing on it, obviously not getting up. But then the other team decides to play on. Do you think the referee should be able to stop it? Or is that fair game? If you want to play on, then so be it.
It's a double-edged sword because if you did say that, then you definitely get players taking advantage of it by like going down and making it out that they have a major injury when the other team could be on a counter attack or something and the ref has to stop it. But technically that should be a rule because it will help players get treatment when they need treatment. But football is probably the number one user. People take advantage of time wasting and injuries so much. And I hate it. I really hate it. Like I really despise that part of football, but it is ingrained in the culture, especially in Europe. Especially in Europe, it's part of the European culture. Maybe not in England, but a lot of other European cultures, like that's part of their training. That's part of what they play in football. And you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, the Italians, aren't you?
But it is, right? You can see it.
Not necessarily. Let's call it emphasizing the contact.
Yeah, but it's faking it.
Theatrics.
Yeah. And I guess it is part of the game. I understand it. But if you were to make that a rule, then teams will take advantage of it. And I think,
if someone's on a counter attack, you're just gonna if you've lost the ball cheaply in a challenge and the ref doesn't give you the foul, you're just going to stay down and go, "Oh, ref, my ankle."
Yeah,
and then that's going to shut down the counter attack. So no, I don't think the referee should be allowed to have jurisdiction over those unwritten rules. Yeah. It's like the players know what it is. Like, yes, sometimes they might get annoyed that the other team has decided they're going to play on. They're not going to stop and let that person get treatment, but that's just, these things happen. Like,
Yeah.
If
Well,
you because I think the players know full well if they were in the same position, they would probably 9 times out of 10 do exactly the same thing.
Yeah. It. Yeah. I feel like a referee. I feel like the rule should be that you should let play go on, but I feel like a referee should have jurisdiction in the rules to stop it if he wants to. Like,
yeah, if
because
it's a danger to the player, the ref will stop it.
Yeah,
regardless. If he can clearly see that the player's in some sort of distress or is at risk by being on the field in that state, then he'll stop the play anyway. So it shouldn't be up to the players if they see someone on the ground and they deem it the right time to just put the ball out and let that guy get treatment, then good on him. That's great sportsmanship. But if you've got the ball and you're pressing forward on a counter attack or something, and someone drops down in the midfield with a rolled ankle, you're not going to just stop your attacking run so that the other guy can get treatment, because they're not. You know full well they're not doing it for you.
Yeah. Exactly.
So there's still that nature to it. Like there's sportsmanship, but you're out there to win. You're out there to compete.
It's sport. There's going to be injuries. There's going to be casualties. Like it's going to happen. It's part of sport forever. I think another one is like after an injury as well, kicking the ball back to the goalie, or like giving it back to the other team if they kicked it out. Like I think that is just fine staying an unwritten rule. It doesn't need to be written at all, because that I've never seen that not happen.
Yeah, it's just that
my 20 years of playing football, or 19 years, I've never seen that not happen. So
I think that's why they are known as unwritten rules. Like everyone knows that's just how you conduct yourself. They don't need to write them in because they don't necessarily need to be officiated on. So no, I don't think referees should be able to.
Sport that rules can be just like this?
Well, stuff like you can look at things maybe like tennis, with if you hit a shot and it kind of flicks off the net and bobbles in, like you kind of it's not really an unwritten rule, but it's kind of, you always see the player like throw up the like apologies as in like, I didn't mean to do that. But it's not like you're going to then write a rule that says, if the ball hits the net, the point doesn't count because that's unfair on the other player. Like it's just, things happen. You just you get on with it, you carry on.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, so I think the answer to that we've both decided is probably no.
No, leave them as unwritten rules.
Yeah, I think that's fine, and only when it becomes like a problem in the professional part of the game would it ever change.
Yeah,
like a consistent problem, and I think sports adapt to those problems and make rules.
Yeah, very quickly.
Yeah. All right, that was good, Will. All right, so now
very good. Once we found it.
Now we move on straight to the reserve orange peeler of the week. We'll be uploading another bigger picture as a separate segment, and I've been liking doing them on its own, and I hope you guys have been liking that too. So let's go straight to the reserve orange peel of the week, and give me the good news, Kyle. Did I win? I actually haven't followed it this week.
The good news for you, yes, you have picked up the win. It was once I saw the video of yours, I knew I was up against it. So I
actually thought yours was funnier.
I feel like mine was good, but once I saw yours with a double ricochet header up into the basket, I thought you can't beat that. Sure,
what was the percentage?
It was like 70 to 30% was
world domination, baby. That is
so it's a 2-to-1 ratio. I'll take that. I was still in there for a bit of it.
Your whole video that I watched, like an explanation video on it. It's a 1 in a million thing. Like it's
it's ridiculous. It'll probably never happen again, or wouldn't happen for like another 50 years. But anyway, as the defending champion for the week, Josh, kick us off.
So yeah, when we were preparing this this episode, I told you I was going to go football, and that's just to throw you off because I'm going back to the Mary Poppins bag of cricket, baby. Hoorah! Let's go. I'm using cricket as much
I'm
as I
enforcing
can.
a cricket ban soon.
It's like fantasy
All
team
right,
when you
what have
use
you
too
got?
many players from the one side, you have
Yeah,
to
you have to
change
start.
it
You
up.
got to use your you got one wild card for the whole season.
No, I'm going for a bit of backyard cricket. All right, and
Okay.
this is kind of anonymous. Like it's not a star or anything, but it looks like they've set up a really nice cricket green, cricket pitch in their backyard. They're doing like a bit of an event, obviously before lockdown, and they're playing a bit of cricket, and they've got the guy in batting. He's been in batting for a while. Watched kind of the whole video, and they've brought his missus up to the plate to have a bowl.
Have a bowl at him.
He looks confident. He looks like, yeah, I'm gonna smack it around here. Probably be in the doghouse later, but let's go for it. She puts the slow ball on. He comes out to it, sees it slow, go to block it, and completely misses it and gets bowled by his missus.
Oh,
and
just
the
gets
mates
bamboozled.
the mates go off, push him around. He heads his head in shame, falls over. The missus is going off. He's going, yeah, you ripper. And
That's
they're
unreal.
filming him. They're filming him. She comes over to give him a hug, and he's not having it. She's going off for about
He's having a
4
hissy
minutes.
fit.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll see if you can.
Yeah, I can see that. That's clean too. That's taking the top of his leg stump.
Look, they're going.
And his mate's into him. He's giving him the big two-handed shove in the chest. Let him know about it. That was a fully legal delivery. Fair pace, but not too much. Crafty, slow medium in swinger.
One more time. Here we go.
Look at that, off the two-step run up as well.
Oh, he got bowled.
Wow, that's a good, great
that
delivery.
Man, if that ever happened to me, one, I'd be breaking up with the girlfriend, and two, I wouldn't be playing cricket again.
Yeah, I was going to say that's got to. You can't be playing cricket again after a dismissal like that. He's thrown the bat at it and got fresh air, but happens to the best of us, hasn't it?
Yes,
I mean, we've been there.
Not by the missus though. That's a new.
Not by the missus, no. But
I mean, you can't really do that anyway.
Fair enough. Coward throwing cheap shots. Anyway, carry on.
All right, your pillar, because that's a big one. You got to follow that.
Yeah, that's good. But backyard cricket, not really a big stage. Not a lot of pressure riding on it. I'm going to the big stage. I'm going to Champions League qualifying with Ruben Aguilar from Monaco.
Oh, yeah. I know.
You know him? Yeah. Aguilar from Monaco. So, there you go. Been getting into the FIFA in lockdown.
Yeah.
But so Monaco went to extra time in their second leg qualifying for the Champions League, and poor old Ruben Aguilar has committed the absolute cardinal sin of defending. He has scored the own goal, which has knocked his team out of the Champions League contention. That was the deciding goal, and it was an absolute screamer as well. So
who was versing?
They were playing against Shakhtar Donetsk from the Ukraine. Yeah. So the Shakhtar Donetsk they've gone down the left flank, and they've just played they've handled the winger pretty well. They've got him contained. Aguilar's just staying free inside the box. The Shakhtar players played the cutback across the box. Aguilar's thrown the foot out to clear it, got it off the toe. Big looping high ball over the keeper. Keeper's stranded on the island, scrambling, trying to get to it. Nothing. Top bins from Aguilar, and then knocks his own team Monaco out of the Champions League. So they're playing Europa League football now, and they were in control of that game as well. They had all the running. They were up 2-1 on the night, so they were as good as through. And then poor old Ruben, he's had a shocker.
He's had an absolute.
So he is my reserve orange peeler of the week.
I'm trying to find the video to.
Yeah, I've got the video saved because it's been taken down because of bloody Stan Sport with their Champions League rights, they only keep things up for like 2 days.
Oh, really?
So I've
like,
I've illegally downloaded it. Here, I'll show you.
Yeah.
Here you go. Can you see this?
Yeah. Oh wait, I need to see the build up a little bit more.
Yeah, you got to see the build up a bit more. But look at the despair of the kid. And the Shakhtar coach is going off too. He's like, "You beauty."
Oh, what?
Look at
So
that.
he go to cross it and kicked it into him. Oh,
Yeah, so the Shakhtar player's gone the cut back and it's come off his toe.
Oh, that is so
And
unlucky. That's like there's nothing he could have like.
It's an absolute beauty
bloke.
of a finish if you're the attacker, but not so much in your own net.
But like he didn't even hardly put a foot out.
He's just he's basically put a toe out to cut it off, and in she goes. But
poor bloke. That's honestly even worse than like trying a big clearance and missing it and going in. That's pure unluckiness.
But that is what this segment is for. That he is my reserve orange peeler.
Yeah, that's a bit harsh calling him a peeler. Far out.
Mate, that's what it is. It's a harsh business.
All right, so we'll get those videos up to you on the Friday, and you'll be able to vote and give me another win. I am absolutely smashing Kyle, so maybe you should give him a little petty victory.
I think mine's pretty all right.
But yeah, let's move on to our ball bag. We have a fair few questions this week.
Yeah,
People are actually realizing that there's nothing to do anymore in life during lockdown, so may as well submit a question to the ball bag. So let's get to it, Kyle. Give us that first juicy ball.
I'll start you off with a nice extensive one from Aaron. He's written in. He says, given the recent transfers within world football, do you think that FIFA/UEFA need to revise the financial fair play rules so teams like Man City, Man United, and PSG can't exploit them without consequence in a certain time frame?
Yes, 100%.
So
100%
essentially,
we need more regulation around this. You paint the picture, and then we'll have a discussion.
Yeah, so essentially, it's a bit of a complex thing, but for anyone that doesn't know, the way that the financial fair play system works is that it was designed to stop clubs from going into debt by overspending on players' wages and transfer fees and etc. So UEFA set up a system where you have to prove that your club is breaking even financially. Yep. So you can't be spending more than your revenues, so if a club is found to have spent over that year's revenue of their total income for the next 3 years, they then have to prove that they are spending £25 million under what their total revenue is to essentially reaccumulate those funds. Because the idea was that clubs were overspending, putting themselves in severe debt, and then almost like running the clubs into the ground, ceasing to exist. So it was put in as a protection mechanism. But then clubs like PSG and Manchester City, who have spent huge amounts of money, a lot of people are questioning how they fit within these financial fair play rules and like whether they should be allowed to spend the vast amounts that they do. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it is ridiculous. It is.
Should they get that leeway of the 3 years, or if you go over that, it should just be?
They need to figure it out because, in a sense, these competitions need to be closer. I think everyone would benefit from the teams being spread out more. I mean, you want to see like leagues be contested by 6 teams, 7 teams, 8 teams.
Yeah, not 2 and 3.
1 or 2. I mean, the Premier League is probably the best example. It's contested by 8 teams lately. It used to be top 4. Now, like it's way more open, and teams are really given goes from anywhere in the pack, really, financially. But in most of the other top leagues, it's 1-2 horse race for the past 10 years. So there needs to be a change in that aspect. But in terms of the actual rules, yes, it needs to be cracked down on it. PSG are just going to absolutely try and fill their team with superstars and superstars and superstars within these 3 years. And then at the end of those 3 years, they're going to be in debt and they're going to have to just reset and like become a much lesser club for the next few years. But they're trying to just get a few Champions League trophies, a few local National League trophies in their bag. But I don't think you can do that. I think you got to sustainably run a club for the whole time. There shouldn't be a period of time where you can like kind of cheat on the rules and then pay price for it later.
Yeah.
Because that's just unfair. And a lot of clubs aren't in that position to do that.
Yeah. So I have actually seen as well, just to further extend on that and get your opinion on this too, is that UEFA, due to all of the impact of COVID, UEFA have actually deemed the financial fair play rules purposeless. So they're now looking at a new model of financial, like a new model of it, which is similar to the NBA style with a salary cap, but then you have the option of spending into a luxury tax, which would be funds that would be paid to UEFA to then be redistributed into their competitions and etc. So would you be on board with something like that?
100%. You can't have these teams doing that because they're now in the position like Barcelona, who is now in $1.5 billion debt as a football club, as a business. That is disastrous. That can really hurt that football club, and that can really hurt football culture in Spain. They are a massive club. They're such a big influence for people across the world, and they are now in a massive rebuilding phase because the people at the top are useless or maybe useless or naive and have too big of an ego to actually say, no, we can't spend that. No, we can't do this. No, we're going to be in debt in the future. They're either stupid or they're just too egotistical to back down on their decisions. And I don't know which one. I'm leaning more towards it being the egos, and they're not thinking about the future, and they're not thinking about how to sustainably run a business, which is a football club these days. So, yes, I would like to see that NBA model be integrated with some tweaks in football, and I think it would just be better for the game in general, because you can't have these big clubs exploiting the system just because they have some big investor. Like you want to see it about the football. We don't want to be talking about money. Why should we be talking about money on a sports podcast? Because it's an issue. We should be talking about sport. We should be talking about the game. We should be talking about how competitive the French league is, how competitive the Spanish league is. But we're sitting here talking about fucking financial,
about who's got more cash,
about who got more cash, because the system's broken. That's ridiculous. They call it fair play. It's not fair play. How's that fair?
It's basically just saying if you've got the money, you're allowed to spend it in a glorified sense. But
then to label it useless, to label it, what did they say it was?
They said
purposeless.
They made it as purposeless. It's their own model. Yeah, but the way that this new system that they're looking at would work is that it wouldn't be like a set salary cap for all the teams. It would be a percentage of that team's total incomes and revenues. So if your club earns, so let's just say, for example, Chelsea makes 100 million revenue over the space of a year, you'd be allowed to spend 70% of that. So whatever your total earnings are, you're allowed to spend 70% of that on players' wages, salaries, transfer fees, etc. So the idea of it is that you leave that 30% extra cushioning for the long-term financial safety and health of your club, and also for those occasions where you want to spend over into that luxury tax space.
Why shouldn't to try and go for something? Though? Why shouldn't it be the same for every club?
Well, because then it's unfair on both sides of the scale.
Like, no, that is fair.
Like a team that's just come up, like Brentford, are not going to have the same access to money as Manchester City. So should
Yeah.
Brentford have to come up, or should Man City have to come down? And then either way, that's not fair on either team. So hence why it's a percentage of the club's total earnings.
They're still a professional football club. They wouldn't have to come up that much.
There's a pretty big difference. Look at the Manchester City squad is worth like $1 billion. Yeah, but then how is that fair on them? If they've created this level of success, whether it be through money or whatever, how is that fair for them to have to gut their squad to come down to?
Yeah, there's no changing the system, but it shouldn't be like that. I think ethically, sports should be about the best players playing the best players. It shouldn't be a business, but
this isn't. This is more concerned with just the long-term finances and security of the clubs more than anything. It's not necessarily to do with who gets what players. It's just trying to make sure the clubs are run properly.
Yeah, well, definitely. Then that needs to be taken into consideration, because there's people's lives, there's people's livelihoods, there's the fans to worry about. There's it needs to be something sustainable and regulated in a way, and you can't have teams like Barcelona just slip through the cracks.
Yeah,
I don't understand how that happened.
I don't know how you can end up in that much debt.
10 years. No one talked about it for 10 years. And all of a sudden, Messi needs to leave. And then, bang,
and
$1.5 billion debt.
Yeah.
Who knew that? Who knew that over the past 10 years? Not me.
Yeah, how did they operate with that? But, that's another story.
No rules. It's because there's no crackdown rules.
Yeah, but just the fact that anyone actually allowed them to spend that much is ridiculous.
Yeah. And for what? What did they win?
Just nothing really. They got a Champions League.
It's not
when they had Messi, Neymar, Suarez. Yeah, they won a Champions League, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna do more research about that. But thanks, Aaron, for the question.
Yeah. So the next one is from James. So James wants to know, now that Ronaldo is back at Man United, will he retire at Man United? Will that be his swan song?
No. I can't see.
He's 36.
Yeah.
He's signed for 2 years. He'll be 38.
No, I reckon he'll have I don't know. I feel like he'll go somewhere just to experience it. I don't know, he might go
like MLS type thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. But I don't know if he's that kind of player.
I feel like he's I kind of like it, but I think he's a kind of his ego won't allow him to go to somewhere like that. He'll see that as devaluing himself if he goes to a non-European league.
What about going? You know, what'd be cool is full circle and retiring at a Portuguese club.
Yeah, if he goes back to Sporting Lisbon and retires there,
done his career in reverse.
Even if he just goes there for a year to just try and help mentor the next generation.
You know, it'd be cool. You know, it'd be great. I don't know if he thinks. I haven't really heard much about his mentality about life after football. But what if he went? What if he went to Sporting Lisbon, played, and started being a manager role, or started being on the staff? You know, like being that mentor as a player, like an older player, captain, and then when
that'd be really cool. I reckon that'd be awesome
to a manager, or like what our Arteta did, kind of become like a assistant coach and then a manager, you know, and then he will, if he, I don't know what he'd be like as a manager, because
I'm not sure what he'd be like managerial wise in terms of his personality and his ego, but
I don't know how social he is or how good at building relationships with teammates he is, but you don't hear.
I think that I think that long term, if he was to be in the managerial type of frame, I think that he'd probably end up in the Portuguese national team setup somewhere as an assistant, because the national teams is where all of the legends go. The guys like Luis Figo and stuff have gone and been assistant coaches with Portugal and whatnot. That, I think that'd be the perfect scenario for him. Go back to Sporting Lisbon, have a little bit of a run there to wrap it all up, come full circle, and then sort of move into the Portuguese national side as an assistant or something of the sort.
I reckon we're about to see an amazing story, and I reckon Man U are gonna win. I reckon they're gonna win the league, and I think if they don't, I reckon they should be outright favourites to win the league. Just the belief and the absolute fanfare around Ronaldo coming back and the team they've already got and the way they're already playing, they should absolutely wipe teams across the park.
Yeah.
I mean, I know teams are going to put up a great fight. This EPL is going to be amazing. There's so many high-class teams.
There's a lot,
performing at their best, and like it's all culminating to a good 5-team slugfest competition.
Yeah.
Even someone like West Ham.
West Ham are on top of the table right now. They look like they could beat anyone.
Yeah,
I reckon if they went to the Etihad to play Man City next week, or Anfield to play Liverpool, or even Stamford Bridge to play Chelsea, I wouldn't be surprised if they won. Like, they're playing that good.
Yeah.
So
in terms of Ronaldo, I don't think he will, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
Yeah.
I know Man U is kind of his home, but I feel like Portugal is his real home place.
Where he really started.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good one to think about. Let's go to the NRL now with another question here from Charlie. Yeah, the snooze fest. But this one's been a very controversial topic. So we'll just give us a simple yes, no. Has Latrell turned into one of the biggest grubs in NRL?
Yes. That is disgusting. He should have been sent off.
Yeah, 100%.
He should, and then he kept playing and did more stuff. Like, he threw the ball, poor guy who he ran over the top with.
When he scored.
Take something, sure, but then he just threw the ball at him and then started another fight.
Yeah.
That's
it's
stuff
like,
I don't really care about.
You've just broken someone's
cheekbone. That was
and you're winning by 40. Like, you don't have to do that.
That wasn't a mistake either. That was a full targeted attack on the head. Like, he wasn't even ducked. He wasn't even falling. Like, that was just absolutely a grub move with a lot of intent. He should, and good. He shouldn't be playing finals. He should be out for the season, and he should get monetary fine a lot. I think.
Yeah, well, I've seen that the charge is 6 weeks. If he accepts it, if he pleads, if he tries to challenge it and loses, then he'll get 9-week suspension. So either of those two would mean season done.
He's an idiot. He's already been charged 3 times.
Yeah, another fun fact as well. I just read it this morning in the paper. Since 2018, he is the second most charged player in the NRL in terms of foul play.
Hargraves?
No, Warrior Hargraves is actually lower down the list than Latrell.
Let me guess. Is it the guy from Bulldogs?
No, he's up there, but Latrell's still higher. It's Josh Maguire. Only Josh Maguire has more charges. No, only Josh Maguire has more charges than Latrell.
Yeah, he is.
Since 2018. So I think that sums it up that, yes, he is one of the biggest grubs.
For them to go far in this final series, they needed Latrell. And I think Adam Reynolds is out too.
Yeah,
that's for a few weeks. That looked bad. Yeah. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
It was off the ball. He just stepped wrong after a pass or a kick maybe, and just you could see his knee just buckle. It didn't look pretty.
No, it's never good.
Look, to be honest, Latrell. What was the actual question?
Is Latrell one of the biggest grubs in NRL? 100%.
Yeah,
conclusive.
Done.
Case closed.
Yeah.
So, and next question comes from Geordie. He says, what sporting moment would have been made better if there were fans present? So think about sporting moments that happened during COVID shutdowns with no fans or minimal fans that you think would have just been so much more amplified if there were people in the stands.
Yeah. Okay. I've got 2.
Okay.
I discussed this with him the other day, and we mentioned one that I didn't think of originally, but when Allison scored,
against West Brom with the header,
when he scored last minute header That is
Yeah.
unreal. That is unreal. Goalkeeper scoring, last minute header, going off. Like, fans would go nuts, absolutely run
Yeah.
riot. That would have been
Even
awesome.
though it was an away game, the Liverpool traveling fans would have gone nuts, and the rest of the stadium would have gone absolutely dead quiet, and that would have been unreal.
This would have been like a great moment to see, like the roller coaster of
the
emotion
reactions.
on both
Yeah.
sides. I
What
think
was your other one?
another one would be, I reckon, any Olympic moment from this year, really.
Yeah,
Any
probably that's
Olympic
pretty
gold,
fair.
but like probably Italy's 4x100 meter relay race.
Yeah.
Because that was literally like the last, like that was like so close, and he did so well to come back and win that last leg. And that was just an unreal race, and it was cool seeing like two new teams, Great Britain and Italy, who haven't been like completely dominant in the field in athletics, like win, and Lamont Jacobs win as well. I reckon the share gold and the high jump would have been awesome with a massive crowd. I just like all these Olympic moments. You see, like, imagine just a crowd going off.
Yeah, just
Like
going ballistic
that
in the
just
background.
makes it for me. Like, that just absolutely makes it for me.
Yeah.
So that would have been really cool to see a lot of the Olympic moments be like boosted with crowd reactions, especially some of like the Japanese skateboarders winning as well. Like any Japanese athlete winning a gold would have been unreal.
Yeah.
Even watching the volleyball, like, just I really wish there were fans at the Olympics.
Yeah. One that I would go with, even though I'm not necessarily a big follower of the sport, but the Super Bowl last year with Tom Brady getting the win with the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. So it was a home Super Bowl. They were only it was only a 25% crowd, but in front of a full house, 70,000 people. Cool. They would have all been on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win
that's
it.
My team.
Would have just been absolutely nuts. Oh, because Tom Brady, of course,
followed
the success.
No, that Tampa Bay been my team for years and years, and they were terrible. They've been terrible for what, 20, 30 years.
Yeah, they've been terrible for a while,
but there was
that's why it would have been so special.
Yeah, when I was growing up, there was a quarterback who played for them named Josh Freeman.
There you go.
That was why it's my team, and then they're successful now. So I know somewhere in the future we will be successful.
There you go. So you can say you're a day one.
No, probably not day one, but I don't know anyone else in the team though.
Yeah, fair enough. We might have to adopt a team for this year. I'm thinking. I reckon I'm just gonna get on the Cardinals because they suck, and I have a Cardinals jumper. So
we should do I've got an idea for a segment. I'll tell you after the show.
Okay, yeah, we'll discuss it later. We'll wrap up with this last question. Bit of a random one, to be honest, but we're going to ask it anyway. It comes from Sam. He says, "Has LeBron James taken PEDs, performance-enhancing drugs?"
No.
6'9", 280 pounds, can jump out of the gym.
No, he's an honest man. He's a clean man. He's just a freak genetics. Like, there's two people that have there's many people that have freak genetics. One, like, I think the top three, him, Giannis.
Yep.
Giannis is a freak. Do you see him in AEW?
Yeah.
He went in
in the wrestling.
Yeah, that was unreal.
Yeah.
Oh, and also, if you get a chance, have you seen Yoel Romero?
Yeah,
for the UFC. Yeah. He's 40. He's Cuban. He looks like he's been made in a lab. He's
crazy.
Best genetics I've ever seen as an athlete. But I think he's just freak genetics, and he seems like an honest family man. Unless he took it when he was younger, but I wouldn't think so.
No, I don't think he has, but if he has, I want to know what it is and where I can get my hands on it because that man's a freak.
Send us a link on the dark web. I'll buy some.
Yeah. Anyway, that concludes our ball bag for this week. Anything to close us out, Josh? Anything you want to get off your chest?
No. I think it's been
Or you've
passionate,
you've cleared that up already.
Yeah, I just think one thing that I'll say is like I'm happy that I get the platform to speak about sport in this way and share my thoughts and feelings, because sport is a big part of our lives, and it's great to engage with people on something you love like this. And it just want to say thank you for having this platform to talk about sport, and our little fan base is great to interact with. So I'll leave you with that little tearjerker.
There you go. And on that note, Peelers out.
Gets the pass on. Coin goes for the corner. Oh, yeah. What about that one?
Tell him, McCluskey. Tell him what time it is.